Good morning and welcome back to Chet Chats. It is the first Wednesday of September. That is crazy. I hope that you are enjoying your fall weather because California does not have fall like the East Coast does. It's no shade, slight shade. But we have special shout outs and thank yous to you, so I'm going to pass it over to Dad.
Good morning, Shy. First, before I begin, as always, I'd like to thank all those who chime in and watch our live broadcast as well as chime in later to watch it at their spare time. Before we begin, I'd like to give special shout outs to Changing Lives at Home, Green Veteran Donation Center, JAlicejewels.com, HefeHair.com, as well as HefeHairStudio.com, KnottedTogether.com, LACruiser.com, LyricPartyGame.com, PremierTagAndTitle.com, and Synergy.com. Thank y'all for all. But before I begin, I also like to sidebar. Hefe is teaming up with TLC as it relates to CBD oil, so please get with me on that on the sidebar. I had to get shameless.
See.
Good morning, everybody. Que pasa, amigo? That's Carlos. Okay. So what's going on? You know I know my Spanish now. It's much improved.
You do not know Spanish.
Mejor Español, señorita.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so today's topic, Dad, is habits.
Wow, okay. What you want to know about?
So first, if you could define the word while I look it up, we'll see how closely related you did it.
I believe habit is doing something repeatedly, whether good or bad. You continue to do it on a regular basis, whether it's a good habit or bad habit. Is that good? Or a good thing or bad thing?
A noun, a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. So yeah, basically what you said.
Okay, see, then your father wasn't that bad off.
So the next question.
What's up with that look? Y'all people, y'all see that look? Please feel free to chime in at any time, people, because she's really feeling us.
The next question I have, Dad, is, I guess, like, in your opinion, what constitutes as a good habit? Because in my opinion, like, good and bad are relative terms. You know, we kind of as a people decided that these things are good, these things are bad, but nothing is like inherently good or bad. So in your opinion, like, what constitutes as a good habit, one, and then part two is how do you maintain those good habits?
Well, first of all, what constitutes as a good habit? To me, anything that's improve your life, and as well as not only your life, your friends and your family life. They are what I consider potentially good habits. And good habits are different. It varies, like you said, from different people, because some people might think that is a good habit. Some people might think that's not a good habit. But things that take away from your meaning of life, in my opinion, aren't good habits. And I prefer to try to practice better habits than bad habits, in my opinion. So did I answer your question there?
I guess so. So I guess, like, and then you'd have to define, like, what good and bad means. Right.
And for me, anything that takes away from your quality of life is potentially not a good habit.
Okay.
So, meaning, for me, I don't knock those who smoke. But me personally, I'm not a smoker. So by me not smoking, I believe there's a chance that I might have a longer life to live.
Okay.
I'm not guaranteed that life, but that's one habit that I chose not to pick up. Also, I stopped drinking alcohol. You know, I don't know, we was real young. I used to drink alcohol when I was younger for a long period of time, but I haven't had a drink since like 95 now. And the reason I stopped that, hey Lily for joining in, I appreciate you as always for the love and support. I stopped doing that as well is because it's a habit that also is a drug. So I didn't want to mess up my temple, which is my inside, my brain, as well as my organs and whatnot, with certain additives, because it's always natural additive things that can potentially hurt you outside of you potentially putting things inside your body that for a period will hurt you. Especially you can get cirrhosis of the liver if you drink too much. Then you can develop bad mental issues if you drink too much. This is my opinion on these, and some of these are facts as well. So they are habits that I chose not to engage in. I chose not to engage in a habit of actually using illicit drugs or any type of drugs. You see, I don't even take Tylenols really because I try to use natural herbs and foods to prevent that, and drinking plenty of water. People don't know the essence of water. Why you say that?
I was just thinking about garlic though. So.
Oh yeah, you can explain that. Like I use natural garlic.
It's nasty.
It's a remedy that she does not like at all, but I use garlic periodically to get rid of potentially viruses that may come on. Because a cold, people think a cold you get from being in the cold, but a cold you get from a virus, as they say. So not actually getting in the cold. So these are things that I try to embark on. And again, I don't tell anybody not to drink, or not to smoke, or not to use drugs. However, I try to minimize those things for me to potentially have a better life. So I exercise. These are habits that I do. I meditate. So these are habits that I feel are positive habits that brings enlightenment to you and to others as you pass it along, positive energy. So they are the things, or the habits that I personally try to embark on. Have I embarked on bad habits? Absolutely. Have I destroyed, like I said early in my life, many communities through the acts of my selfishness to believe the, chase the American dream, as they call it. So yes, I'm not flawless, but I always continue to try to work on me and to become a better person each and every day. And that deals with your attitude. Yeah, people don't even know the importance of having a good attitude as a habit. Because when you have in my opinion, when you have a negative attitude, you seem to always get the worst out of anything that's going on. So It's so crazy that you say that today, because a quote that I put up, it dealt with criticism. And a lot of times people do not have constructive criticism. They just have criticism within them. And constructive criticism is giving the person what's going on and then the tools to resolve that issue, not just giving them your thoughts without a resolve tool.
Wouldn't even constructive criticism be opinionated?
To a degree, yes. Yes, I agree with that. To a degree it is. But I just know habits. Some habits are hard to break for others. Like some people decided, I'm going to give you this instance, do not want to smoke or do drugs anymore.
Yeah.
And the drugs I'm referring to, people are illicit drugs by the law of the land illegal. I'm being honest.
Well, that's another topic.
Right, that's a whole other topic. But I'm just saying, so they tend to not have the tools in place to break these habits. So again, it becomes a constant battle within, and it also starts to deal with your brain as well as your body itself, because your body then takes on some of these excuse me, I can't think of the word, but your body takes on, your brain starts to develop a taste for it as well. So if your brain feels it hasn't had that taste, then it feels like it can't function. So that's another chemical imbalance potentially that can happen and whatnot. So good hygiene is a habit that's a must, in my opinion. But some people don't practice good hygiene.
I just I don't know, I guess I don't think of things as habits necessarily, because it becomes a lifestyle basically.
Okay,
you know what I mean? So for bathing, for instance, that's just something that I think you're supposed to do. But then I guess you're right. It would be considered a habit.
Right. Because oftentimes people don't believe good hygiene is important.
Right.
Like going to the dentist every 6 months, going to the doctor at least once a year. These are habits that become, in my opinion, a positive lifestyle. So
is living a habit then? Is how you live a habit?
I believe so, to a degree, yes.
And then our habits, okay.
Please chime in anytime, people, because you know how she get with me. Sure.
Are habits then, taught? Because you're not, so when people are born, and again, I could be completely wrong, but it's a blank slate, there are new canvases for life, right?
Right.
So as a mentor or a parent or whoever the person who is providing and taking care of said blank canvas is supposed to guide that blank canvas into life and I guess groom them in the sense to live a great life or whatever.
Hey, Nick.
Are their beliefs / habits painted onto that blank canvas person? And so then if that's the case, then do I just believe that these are good habits or I should use these habits because I was told that?
People, get her. See what I'm saying to y'all people? She's getting out of there. I'm going to try to try to dissect what you just said
Okay.
as quick as possible for the people on the air. First, I think some things are innate in you. So whether I teach it, your mother teach it, the people that care for you teach it or not, you already have it within your
Like
chromosome.
I'm born with
You're
it.
born with
Okay.
it. Yes, that's what it means.
Okay.
You're born with it. Then other things, I believe you're taught.
Okay.
And then I think as you're taught, like, I'm not the sidebar, but like racism, that's a taught thing.
Right.
But certain prejudice may not be as taught. I'm not for sure.
Okay.
All right, but getting back to that, because I want to stay on top of that, because, I go off into another whole different subject matter. So I believe habits are then shared with you. Like I shared these things with you. Your mom shared these things with you. Brush your teeth every day, comb your hair, make up your bed. Now, as you continue to get older, then you develop certain habits. Some people are procrastinators. Like when you were younger, we wouldn't allow y'all to procrastinate because we would task-oriented people.
Yeah.
So by us being task-oriented people, we never really allowed that to come set in on you. However, as you got to become your own person, procrastination took over some. Go ahead. See, so.
I'm a great procrastinator.
Right. So with that being in mind, that became part of you. I didn't teach you that.
Right.
Your mother didn't teach you that. And the people that cared for you really didn't teach you that. However, that's just one example of what became of yourself as you grew.
So that would have already been inside of me?
I would say yes. I'm not for 100% sure. Please, any doctors or nurses that are chiming in on this podcast, please feel free to comment on that.
Okay, so then I know because you used to say, I think is it 30 days?
It's normally,
or 60?
It normally takes 30 days to develop a habit. Yes. Normally.
Okay.
That's not my, that's books that I read over the years.
Right. So if that's the case.
And then 10,000 man hours to be proficient in something. And most people don't have 10,000 man hours in a lot of things.
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah, because they wonder why their greatness hasn't come to them yet, because they haven't put in the necessary 10,000 man hours. And that's just on average. But go ahead. So
how many days is that?
Well, it depends. Yeah, you can do it on a calculator real quick. 10,000 go into 24. How many times? That's 416, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
What you got?
416.66.
Okay, but I ain't get to 0.6. Forgive me.
That's a lot.
Yes. Well, anyway, so developing a habit is easy to do per se.
So if it takes,
breaking one is a little hard. Okay.
So if it takes 30 days that's just in general, right? To form anything. So if it takes 40 to make 30 to make it, then it will take 30 to undo it also?
I don't think so. They say it takes a lifetime to undo certain habits. That's what they say. So
would it depend on the degree of the habit? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so for instance, I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm. Give me an example, because you almost got me confused.
Making my bed every day, okay? If I were to not make my bed for 30 days, I probably, that would be an easy habit to break.
Right.
But then there are habits, addiction would be a habit. Would that
be harder to break? Yeah, but let me tell you why I tell you always make your bed. Because that's your second accomplishment for the day. Your first accomplishment that you woke up.
Yes.
People don't understand that. That's your first accomplishment. Then your second accomplishment, you make your bed. So if you don't accomplish nothing else the rest of the day, you accomplish two things. So that's why I always would tell you to make your bed and thank God that you woke up this morning. And I try to pass that on to your siblings as well and anybody else I know. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just
Right. So, however, unfortunately, if you get dependent on certain drugs and whatnot, whether it be nicotine, codeine, barbiturates, they are harder to break because now it's messing with your chemically imbalancing you.
So
that's a tad bit difference because now you have a chemical imbalance within inside you that's happening due to taking these different type of drugs.
Would addiction correlate with bad habits? Or are
addiction?
They two completely different?
Well, I never even looked at it in that capacity, Shy. You put me on the spot like that.
I know. Well, I was testing your brain.
Right. I know this early in the morning. So What did you say again? So I can kind of.
Is addiction correlated with bad habits? Because at some point in time, like addiction becomes, in a sense, someone's lifestyle because it has altered the chemical balance within your brain.
Right, but some people got shopping addictions too, so that's been altered some type of way. So it's not always drugs,
right?
The addiction. So, I became addicted somewhat to financial freedom as it relates. So I became addicted to that to a degree.
So then does addiction then correlate with habit, or does the addiction become a habit?
I think sometimes the addiction... People need answers. Hortense, please answer. I see she's going on the deep end. But honestly, I believe that habits can become addictive.
Okay.
But not all habits are the best habits for you.
Is addictive inherently a bad adjective?
Not really, because I believe if you brush your teeth on a regular, that's not a bad thing. Okay. That could be addictive. I just think that the word addiction is come obsessive impulsive.
Right. Okay, got it. So
not that you can control it. It's like an uncontrollable impulse that's causing you to want to do it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like making your bed up once and not taking it back down and then making it again. You know, make your bed once for the day and then if you get it back in it, you know, make it.
I just like so many things, Corey, because you said that and then that could also relate to like OCD and stuff because.
Right. But we won't have it.
I know.
See how you can get very open, people. Please feel free to chime in and whatnot. And so go ahead, Sha. I'm listening to you.
Well, I just think it's interesting. Everything really does relate back to each other. It's just like a web of connections. So I guess really, I don't know what are the best, or I guess what is your best advice or tips for how to form a good habit? But see, then it goes back to my question. It's like, well, what is considered a good habit? Right. Because it's opinionated, right, to some extent.
Absolutely, but as I shared for you earlier, for me, a good habit is anything that's bettering your lifestyle, that's making you more positive,
and not hindering
somebody else's lifestyle. That's why I exercise, I meditate, I try to eat properly. Please don't get me wrong. Sweets do get a hold of me often. I do have a sweet tooth. You didn't have to say it like that.
I didn't say nothing.
Your eyes said it, child. Your eyes said it. But seriously, people, I try to maintain a more positive lifestyle as much as possible. And that positive lifestyle entailing me is bettering myself first, loving myself, as it all correlates to each other. Loving myself first, then I'm able to love others. You know, I work on my missteps, my flaws, because I don't believe any person is flawless. And if anybody is flawless, please let me know so you can share that. And we will post that 24/7 so other people can get that inside of them as well. But I think, you know, meditation, eating right, praying, your spiritual essence. I believe you should pray to someone higher than yourself. You know, and oftentimes, I know a lot of people, some people are atheists, but I'm not one. And those who are and just only believe in the science behind it, that's what they have a right to that. It's still a belief, right? Because they believe that doesn't exist. So it's a belief that they had. So whatever that may be, I just think certain things need to be practiced on the regular as far as developing good habits, you know. And like I call it my MR, my morning ritual, as you see I do all the time. I pray, I drink water, I exercise, and I meditate as well every morning, and then get to going in the direction, and hopefully that day reaps the fruit of my labor. So that's what I try to do on a regular basis. And oftentimes I don't, but when something negative do come about, I try to take an approach and think it out through. I don't try to just react on raw emotions. Please, people, everything you do is based on emotion. A lot of people try to tell you it's not, but it truly is based on emotion. Now, the thing is trying to get the best emotion for your situation, in my opinion, that's the way to do it. Thank you, Val, for joining us. All those who know Val, Hugs Don't Shoot is a good campaign. Hopefully people take pride in that, you know, hugging and loving each other instead of shooting each other. For a lot of it, in my opinion, is senselessness. So getting back to that, that's a bad habit that I wouldn't partake in, you know, in my opinion. So they are the things that I think people really need to get in tune with. Attitude is extremely important in developing habits, because you can develop a habit and always want to be on the negative side, or you can develop a habit and always trying to be on the positive side. It's up to the individual. But if anybody know, positivity go a lot further than negativity, because negativity as well has consequences, and positivity has consequences. And I'd rather be on the positive top side of that consequence than the negative side, because fortunately or unfortunately, the way you want to look at it, I've been on both sides. And both, you know, I'd rather be on this side than the opposite side in this particular situation. Anything you want to chime in with, Dave?
No, I think you said a lot of good stuff. I don't know if we're writing down, but
no, we have a few minutes.
Okay.
Sponsors, we can go on a little bit.
No, I was just gonna say, because you mentioned like shooting and stuff, so I just want to take a second to pray for specifically Baltimore and all the violence that has been occurring.
Let's
there.
have a moment. Heavenly God, may we give you prayer and give the city of Baltimore and all the cities throughout the United States and the world strength and understanding that balance is not the key to the greatness in your heart. I believe in your name only. I say amen.
Amen. Yeah, because there's a lot. I don't know. I feel, and I guess I don't know if that would be considered a habit. Because is it like, do habits become lifestyles?
I believe so. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So then we need to do better as a city, and not just Baltimore specifically, but again, that's the only other city I really know, because I was home for literally my entire life. But we have to do better, and we have to continue to, I say you in a general sense, not, well,
Wow.
also like both specifically us too as human beings. We just need to do better, to be better. We don't live here forever. We don't inhabit the world forever, but there are generations, God willing, after us that will live on the lands that we have lived on. And if we don't take care of these lands, and they will not have lands, and then they'll die. Realistically.
Right, realistically, that's a true statement.
Whether it's like actual body death or mental, because they don't have the goodness, the good habits that are happening in order to keep them afloat. We just need to do better. People need to be better.
So you putting out a challenge today? Because that would be a good thing, a challenge, and that's to hold people accountable, because we need to start holding each other accountable for certain things. Yes, habits do become a lifestyle. Absolutely, Val. So, hey, Stace, what's up, sis?
I said human. It's like, Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, are you putting out a challenge today? Thank y'all for all that continue to join in and support us. I would like to start having like weekly challenges. Nothing hard on a person, but something basic. So then that basic can add up to a positive lifestyle. So
Yeah.
What challenge would you have today?
I guess to hold yourself accountable, and actually hold yourself accountable. I feel like there's a lot of times people are, in my opinion, everyone is judgmental to some degree, whether it's something on a massive scale or a smaller scale. People are judgmental. I'm judgmental for certain things. I'm sure you are
Absolutely.
judgmental for certain things.
I try not to stay judgmental, but I do judge things.
Right, exactly. So I guess my challenge today, to tie everything together, is 1, hold yourself accountable. 2, check yourself to see if you are judging someone and you don't know their lifestyle, you know pieces that they choose to show you. So unless you have actually walked in, what is it, it's a saying, unless you have walked 2 moons in their moccasins, do not judge someone based off of what it is that you see.
Like, don't be judgmental.
Basically.
Right.
Unless you've walked in their shoes, which I really doubt that you have. And then 3, I don't know, what would 3 be? I
Develop
guess,
great habits.
yeah,
Positive
but we
habits.
should have a specific number, maybe, like, I don't know. For
Develop 1 great habit for this coming month.
And yeah, that's a good one, because we're at the beginning of the month.
Right.
And see if you can actually stay with 30 days to form it, and then 10,000 hours to manifest
Master it.
it.
Yes.
That's so many hours.
Exactly. Thank y'all, people, for all joining in. I appreciate the love and the support throughout. Definitely drinking water is a must. So definitely people can continue to stay hydrated at all times. Water is a great ingredient to keep a lot of things out of your body. People don't know. I'm not knocking sodas or alcohol in any capacity, but water is the first tool that was here on earth before any of the other tools. So
I wasn't sure if you have more to say.
No, I'm done.
Know when you're done talking.
yes.
All right, guys. Have a great first Wednesday of September. And enjoy your day. Enjoy, I guess, life. And sorry, I saw one more thing pop up. Okay. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your Wednesday. Have a great first full week of September, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.